year is 2018, and in October the 21st, episode 34 of the Podsters was broadcast.
I love it. That was great.
Why, thank you.
If anybody can figure out what he is imitating, let us know.
You can let us know in the comments below on Facebook or thepodsters@gmail.com.
Yes, excellent.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a good week last week.
And a good weekend this weekend.
Yeah. It's been a nice, relaxing weekend for us.
Yes, it has. I've been chefing away in the kitchen.
Yeah, making some
fun.
good food.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to worry about going out to dinner anywhere.
No, there's not a whole lot of places to go out here.
No, there's not. There's literally crappy chain restaurants
Yeah, fast
here
food and chain restaurants.
within, 10-mile radius of us. And if we drive out maybe 20 to 30 miles, we might get some decent food in other places.
I was going to say San Antonio is, 45 miles or something?
No, it's about 30. And if you want to go downtown all the way, that's probably about another 40. I mean, a total of 40.
Yeah.
40-mile radius or something like that. But, yeah, there's absolutely nothing here. A lot of people have to open up their book of dreams and open up some restaurants here.
Right? Go for it, guys.
I would totally love to open up my own restaurant.
I would too,
but it is hard to maintain a restaurant all by yourself.
I'm not too worried about that. The problem is location. Like all these new places charge an arm and a leg for lease.
True.
I think that's the biggest problem, that to be able to pay those leases, you kind of have to have a franchise behind you.
Right, or some business partners or something.
Yeah, but I think it's easier for a chain to come in and say, we want to lease and we want to lease it for whatever, 10 years.
Yeah.
To get it through rather than we're a private investor thing, even though you have partners around.
Yeah.
Too expensive.
The business aspect of opening your own business, especially a restaurant, is very, you have to know exactly what you're doing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, totally. And not just that. You really need to think of the overhead. And one of the highest overheads here, I think, is the lease. You need to find a cheap place to have it.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that that's exactly what that School of Rock did, because the School of Rock that opened here in town, I mean, they opened up on the west side of town, which is, the older, more run down side of town, and
right,
and I'm pretty sure that rent is super cheap.
Yeah, and which is what you have to do for stuff like that.
Yeah, but do you think all these bougie people that are going to allow their kids to learn music and stuff like that go down to a place that's not so...
I think they do if the kid is interested. Here's my problem with that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if to me it's a problem. Do you think there's enough kids that still want to learn how to play real music? That's my only thing, because I think that regardless, if you have a child that wants to play the drums or the bass, yeah, you'll go down to the west side to do that. I don't think they care too much about the location.
I guess. I mean, and it's not completely bad, but it's just the lower side of town,
But I think people realize that that's education.
Yeah.
And good education can be had anywhere.
Exactly. So kudos to the School of Rock, regardless of where they're located. It's a good business.
It is.
Venture,
I think it is.
And it definitely helps the community.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's not a whole lot of other options in a town like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where else you would learn how to play rock music.
You'd learn by just YouTubing it, I guess. I think that's what most kids are doing these days.
Yeah, but I mean, YouTubing things isn't the same thing as having what they have there is actually, real band practices and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Yeah, I have to sit and play around a lot at home on the guitar.
Yeah.
But nothing beats being able to be in a room where you can crank it to 11 and hit it. It's a completely different feeling.
Yeah.
It's like some people, when you haven't done it for a while, I was talking to another guitar player the other week, and it's like once you haven't done that for a while, you almost get afraid of just the sheer volume of the guitar once you get to do it again. Because it is electrifying to be in a band situation versus at home.
That's true. That's definitely true. It gives you more of like, I guess, an alive feeling.
Oh, totally. And the instruments react differently and everything. So, I mean, I think it's great that they have that, regardless of where they're located. Because nothing beats the real deal.
Right. That's cool. Definitely, guys, people out there who are listening, I highly recommend that you get your child interested in playing a musical instrument. If you feel like they're not athletic enough to do anything, at least put them in some kind of like music program.
What do you mean with at least? I would say that music can help children in way more ways than sports can, in different ways.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, music is very therapeutic for one. I mean, that's the basic part of it. But two, it does help kids excel in math.
Yes, it's a very logical. I mean, once you get playing, if you get into the theory of it, it helps with math. Anything math related.
Math, science,
Yes.
and it helps them in their studies altogether. So
for sure.
They develop a sense of oh my gosh, what is the word that I'm thinking? I'm totally blanking, but
I don't know.
Discipline, a sense of discipline when they practice and they realize that they're practicing makes them play well.
Yes. There's no shortcuts to playing well. It's all discipline.
And that satisfaction of knowing that you've conquered a piece of music or something.
Oh yeah.
And you know that you've played it well. Oh my God. I used to play an instrument, so I know what you mean. It's like when you conquer that piece of music and you played it your best, you've practiced it so much, that practice has paid off.
Oh yeah, it's
same way with studies. Your studies, regardless.
Yeah, it's like getting an A+ on a paper once you have it pieced down.
Exactly. So let that be the reward of practice, is the satisfaction of doing well.
Yes,
that's what I think a lot of people should probably instill in their kids. But what do I know? I don't have any kids.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to say anything about other people's kids.
I find it funny that sometimes I'm excluded in topics.
Right, because you don't have kids.
Because I don't have kids. It's kind of weird. I've noticed that a lot with coworkers that are mothers and stuff like that. They start conversations about their kids and stuff like that, and I end up kind of butting in because I'm nosy. And it's like, well, what do you know? You don't have any kids. They don't necessarily say it that way, but...
No, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is really weird.
It's almost like they know that I don't know. I get the feeling that they know that they're not perfect, and then they don't want to hear it from people that don't have kids. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. And I mean, I know there's always, everybody's got their own scenario, their own situation. And that kind of brings me to the whole topic of perception versus reality, especially somebody else's reality. I've noticed that a lot at my job, and perception runs rampant around, and nobody takes the time to determine if their perception is actually somebody else's reality.
Right.
Because what if you're missing that one piece that could turn your perception into what their reality is?
I think that's common everywhere. Perception somehow dominates,
yes.
Where reality or putting yourself in someone else's shoes should be the thing to do.
Is it worth the time to trying to figure out if it is somebody's reality or altering your perception?
There's not a yes or no to that. But I think that if it's important enough for you to be stuck on something,
Mm-hmm.
so that your perception becomes your reality of the other person, then I think you should kind of dig into that person's reality, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
if it's just something you notice and you think that, oh, whatever. No, maybe not. But if you're going to start causing stinks about things and stuff like that, then I really think you should think twice. As in, put yourself in the other person's place.
Yeah, put the pieces
see it.
of the puzzle together before you take that picture of that person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, that's a good way of putting it, I think. Not necessarily their reality, because we can never fully understand someone else. But yeah, you should definitely not just grab one puzzle piece and go, aha, I know what it is. Maybe you should work at least 3/4 of the puzzle before you think
Mm-hmm.
of the image of it. For sure.
Yeah, so I highly recommend anybody who feels like they, I guess, are getting people wrong or don't seem to understand people. Maybe it's time to kind of step out of your perception and take a look at these people that are trying to make you understand what they're saying, kind of thing. I don't know. It's just, just try to understand your fellow coworker.
Yeah, I mean, don't jump to conclusions. But I think that's part of my whole, I'm not a big people person.
Yeah, and that...
It's that whole, people are really quick on judging, and they don't even know what they're judging.
Yeah, and that judgment is usually out of ignorance.
Yes, it is. But that ignorance is so... That's the part of people, I guess, I don't like.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's so ignorant to just jump to those conclusions. Or, your perception of someone else gets to rule your worldview on everything.
That's what I don't like, is when someone's perception influences yourself.
Right. Because it becomes a nuance.
Oh, what?
A nuisance?
A nuisance.
Nuisance. No, but okay, in plain English, so we all understand, it's fucking annoying, right?
Okay, yeah. So, that's what I wanted to kind of bring up. It just, I guess, make yourself more aware.
Well, I mean, if it's something that really bugs you to the point of you feel that you have to start interfering in other people's lives, you definitely should. No, not you. But I mean, the whole perception. If your perception of someone, because you asked how important is it to put the pieces together. Well, if it's nothing, if you just think to yourself that, oh, I bet that person, I don't know, drives a Lexus or whatever, then, well, go ahead. But if you're gonna start being the whole, like, let's find out who stole my parking spot thing, then you better put the puzzle pieces together before you try and take action.
Yeah. I guess. You know what I mean. You know what I mean, right? Everybody knows what I mean, right?
I hope so.
And that takes me to one more thing, and I know we talked a bit about it last week, which is the midterm elections, and Texas has some pretty big seats to fill.
Yep, Senate and a new governor, right?
Right, and it's so funny because for some reason, I guess people are getting really amped up about voting.
Uh-huh.
And I find it funny that they're like, yeah, I'm going to vote for so-and-so and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, tell me why you want to vote for that person.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't give me one good reason. Or it's like, my guns, it's my right to have my guns and stuff like that. Well, why? And is it... You're voting for, are you voting for yourself or the better of the country or your state per se?
Well, I think as long as no one votes Democrat so we all don't die, we're good. No, that whole voting thing, it drives me nuts because people get in a frenzy, and that's not just in Texas, it's not just in the US, it's everywhere. Like election time comes up and people get in this sort of voting frenzy tiff.
Yeah, and
But they haven't done their homework
lately. A lot of people, I have to say, are ready for some change, which is causing voter registration to go up and stuff like that. And I find it funny though that Beto O'Rourke is doing well right now, and we see a lot of his signs in our community and stuff like that.
Well, first off, isn't he really the only true Democrat who runs? Because I mean, I might be wrong, but Gina Ortiz Jones?
Yeah.
I don't know is she a Democrat or is she independent?
She's a Democrat.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's running for a different seat.
I don't know. I thought there was only one seat open.
I don't
to
know.
run for. I don't know, but I think what Beto has done that we've been talking about before too is that his campaigns isn't so much smearing the others.
No, not
he
at all.
actually goes out there and talks about his views.
Yes.
And that's something that, I mean, I've mentioned a couple of podcasts ago.
He does a lot of grassroots campaigning.
Well, he does the grassroots campaigning, I think, to a different extent, but also the thing that I was talking about a while ago, the whole, to me, it seems that most candidates don't come out and say, hey, this is what I want to do. They go out and say, did you know that the people that run against me are idiots?
Yeah.
He hasn't sunk to the whole, did you know that Gina Ortiz Jones is
he
a stupid
doesn't blast
fuck?
people or anything like that.
He's actually come out and say, this is what I think. So
this is what needs to be done, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Right. All the things that we've been mentioning in previous podcasts is really how he's ran his campaign.
Right. But the one slight thing that he's done for his campaign, and this is like pure genius on his part, because he's really going to get the Latino vote.
Yes.
Because of his name, Beto.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, Beto is short for Robert. Because...
No, it's Roberto.
Robert lived in El Paso and grew up with a bunch of Hispanic friends and stuff like that. And, it's a mainly Hispanic community. So he was raised around the Hispanic culture. He embraced the nickname Beto, and he sure did use that to his advantage because all his campaign signs just say Beto.
Right.
And it's like, it's not Beto for blah, 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 or Beto for...
it's not Beto Gonzalez against, or anything.
Yeah, no. It's just Beto.
Yeah.
And I can tell you there's a lot of people out there that say, oh my God.
But I think you've kind of missed a point for the people.
No.
Yes, you have.
You have to... No, wait. Hear me out first, okay? Ooh, this is getting heated.
No, it's not heated at all. You're missing something for people that doesn't live in Texas.
Okay.
What is his name? His full name? You gotta tell people.
Oh my God! What is his full name? It's
because it's not genius to say that his name is Robert, and now he's calling himself Beto because he could still be a Gonzalez. The whole thing Michelle is aiming at
is that his last name is O'Rourke.
There we go. You didn't say that.
Yes, I did. His name is Beto O'Rourke.
See, that's the big thing that he's gonna get the thing for. He's Irish or something, isn't he?
I don't know what he is. I didn't look up his ancestry.
But he's not very Hispanic.
No. Yeah, so that what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of people out there that just see that name Beto and they're like, "Oh man, it's one of us that's running for Senate. We gotta vote for them."
Well, and I think,
and I've heard a lot of conversations, and I've talked to people about voting, and of course, a lot of their influence in voting is the fact that Beto is running because they think he's Hispanic.
Right. But I think in his case, it's genius to do it.
Yes.
But also keep in mind here, there's two things to it. He grew up in a predominantly Hispanic community. So his nickname when he was a kid didn't turn out to be Rob, it was Beto. So it's not like he's doing anything fishy with that.
No.
And
I said, he's using his nickname to his advantage.
Right. And when it comes to people that vote for a name only, I think that just goes to show how uneducated the
Yeah.
voters are. I mean,
And that's what I'm calling bullshit on
Yeah.
are people who are not educating themselves
no,
when they
and-
go vote.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
And it's so scary how many people vote for either a party, like what party somebody belongs to,
Mm-hmm.
or something like a name, or they haven't done their homework. People, when you vote, please do your homework.
Yeah, do your homework and figure
Like the
out
real
who is
homework.
really going to work best for you.
But please don't vote Democrat. I don't want to die.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and with that, I just gotta say one thing too, though. Have you seen Ted Cruz's signs?
Ted Cruz, I have seen them, but I don't.
Okay, so it's as tough as Texas.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
But isn't it funny that lately we've had a little bit of cold weather, a little bit of clouds, and some rain, and all of a sudden there's tons of memes being all like, "Oh, this feels like they're basically misery memes about
Uh-huh.
Texas."
Uh-huh.
Doesn't make Texas seem tough at all. So what's he trying to say? That he's a wuss?
Why would he? As tough as Texas.
Yeah, that's his slogan. But lately it doesn't seem that Texas is super tough, because after a week of some cold weather and rain, people are posting all these like, "Oh,
Oh, I gotcha.
wimpy memes." So he's basically saying that he's a wuss.
Exactly. I get your point. But, yeah, please, people, if you're voting, do your homework. Google the person's freaking name, because there's all kinds of information out there on them.
Yeah, and don't fall for stuff like slogans
And-
or names.
And you could be Republican, but find that the views of the Democrats are suitable for you at this point. So you are not, just because you've always voted Republican doesn't mean that you can vote Democrat.
No, and I think that's a little bit of an issue with a complete, in a sense, two-party system. Because, yeah, you can say, well, there's the environmental party and there's independents, but in all reality, it's a two-party system in the U.S.
Uh-huh.
And I think the problem with that is it becomes so ingrained that you're either or. It's this whole black and white. To me, life isn't black or white. It's mostly like different shades of gray, no
Mhm.
pun intended. And it's like, yeah, if don't look just to say, "Oh, that's a Republican," or I've always been Democrat, so I have to vote
Yeah.
Democrat. Look for what the persons really truly want. And I know it's a bit harder these days because all they do in their ad campaigns is throw shit at each other. But yeah, you can Google things. You can find out things.
Yeah. and-
Nothing is worse than hearing people's reasons sometimes to vote for someone, because it's so shallow and you shouldn't be throwing your votes for nothing.
And all those ad campaigns are all just a bunch of frou-frou stuff.
yeah, and
Or, monkey-do thrown at each other kind of
it is.
thing.
It's complete horse shit. And you know what the funniest thing is? They throw the same horse shit back at each other.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Because Will Hurd's campaign against Gina Ortiz-Jones is that she's taken money from Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
And she lives in Washington. So she does Washington deeds. Her ad campaign against Will Hurd is that he's taken a bunch of money from the pharmaceutical companies, and he lives in Washington and acts like a career politician. And it's like, guys,
Yeah.
that's kind of the name of the game to be a career politician. You're going to spend a lot of time in Washington, and you're going to take campaign money from whoever gives you a shit ton of money.
Mhm.
It's like you're throwing the same shit in each other's faces, and yet you haven't told us what you really want to do for
Yeah.
us.
So do your research, please.
Yes, don't fall for them.
And let this last presidential election be your lesson.
I wonder, though, with that, which is an even bigger election, do you think that this country has succumbed to the whole reality TV perception of life?
Yes.
Do you think that they need another monkey like Trump to vote for next time?
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people kind of woke up and said, "Hey, what the fuck is going on?"
But do you truly believe that if you have a really good person with really good political standpoints who's kind of boring and bland, or Kim Kardashian is running, do you think people will actually vote for the career politician or for Kim Kardashian who tweets better than him? I mean, seriously, I'm starting to wonder.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly understand your fear.
To me, it just seems that, I don't know, people are more interested in the stupid stuff than competency.
Right.
Just today at the store, now you called bullshit on the whole thing, so we can't do this as today's bullshit, but it's like today when I went to the store. Employees in stores should move the fuck out of the way for people, and they should pay attention what's on the floor. That doesn't exist anymore.
No,
they
not
walk
at
around
all.
like they own the store, and it's like, hey, you're supposed to stock the shelves and get the fuck out of my way. That's how it's always been.
Like that old lady at Walmart.
Well,
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
or the dude today that was dragging around his, whatever it was, his carts of stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I look, and he's an employee that's just like, I'm going to be in the middle of everybody's way and just like plow through everything.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you should be not seen or not heard. You should just do this
Yeah.
magically, silently, quietly, and be out of everybody's way. That's how it was when I was a kid and we have to
That's
stock
how
shelves.
it was when I worked
Right.
retail.
But that has changed. It's like, no, because I work here. I have a little badge that says HEB, so I'm fucking important. And it's like, no, you're not.
And let me tell you, I just had issues with her bagger. And I'm like, dude, come on. We bought a bunch of sparkling mineral water or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they have
Because it's good.
like a 6-pack little cardboard case that you
Mhm.
could actually put bottles in. But these baggers decided to just put all 6 of them in double bag it in a plastic bag, and of course they all ended up rolling around in the car or in the back seat or in the trunk or whatnot. But the last time we did that,
Uh-huh.
it was by the special guy who is the master of baggers.
Honestly, if HEB is listening, you should make that guy the trainer of any new bagger that comes to the store. No, I'm not kidding you. He's fast,
He's
efficient.
like super OCD about his bagging.
Yeah.
And he is so determined to like be the fastest bagger in the world.
And here's the thing. Not only is he probably the fastest bagger they have, he actually bags things correctly.
Yes.
So, big shout out to, we all know who, and HEB. You should give the man a promotion and actually do some training, because these other baggers are atrocious.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 6 bottles of sparkling water and put them in a bag. Yeah, and then I'm going to put the egg with the meat, and fucking idiots.
Yeah, they're so, I know it's a menial job, and I know it's just like teenagers working the job and stuff like that, but
Yeah, but once again, we're back
Jeez.
to all the stuff we always rant about, which is that the world is going to shits. And in a sense, it is. Oh, they're just teenagers. Well, you applied for the job and you got the job.
so
So
do
do
it
it
right.
well.
Yes.
I mean, any shit job in the world, because that's what most jobs are. But you need it for one reason or another. You need it to pay your mortgage or feed your kids or something.
Yeah.
And you're going to spend X amount of hours every week doing it. So if you bother showing up, do the job right. It's not that hard.
Yeah. I think everybody should have, regardless of what type of job they have, should have this mind frame of, I'm going to do my job and do it well.
Right? Well, I don't love my job right now, but I'm still doing it well because
Exactly.
I'm there. I show up, so I might as well try and do something good.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of just showing up to work and being a douchebag.
Yeah, so that brings me to like possibly the next Podster topic. Probably for the next episode
Uh-huh.
is hopefully whoever's out there listening, since it's the month of October and it's Halloween and Halloween's coming up and stuff like that, I was thinking whoever worked retail, please give us your retail horror stories. Because let me tell you, I had plenty of them.
Well,
Plenty. And hopefully maybe we'll have some guests here to collaborate on
and do write us
retail
and
hell.
tell us your worst retail hell story.
Yeah, or
That way we'll have more than Michelle's retail hell experience to talk about.
yeah, or your just shitty job story or something, you know? Let it and you know, whoever gives us the best one we'll read it out loud or something. I don't know, or we'll just read a bunch of them out. I don't know. Regardless, that's what's going to happen. So let us know. Also, you know, let us know your views, your political views if you want, or let us know if you don't agree with the things that we're saying. We want your comments.
Be active,
If you have any
participate.
questions, comments, or concerns, please let us know.
Yes, and if you want to be incognito, feel free to email your questions, comments, or concerns to thepodsters@gmail.com. If not, comment below or on Facebook.
All right, I think it's about that time.
Have a great week, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye!